This is CBS News Miami.
Now at 5:30, Haitians living in South Florida facing a TPS termination deadline next week. With time running out, they fear returning to Haiti. Tonight, the Archdiocese of Miami and local leaders are speaking out. Good evening, I'm Naja Sherman.
And I'm Jim Barry. CBS News, Miami's Maribel Rodriguez is your reporter. In Miami Shores and Maribel, they are urging the Trump administration to not rescind TPS.
That's right, Jim and Naja. Not only was this a cry for help from Archbishop Thomas Wenski and other political leaders, but also from several Haitian nationals who have been living in this country under TPS status and are now concerned about their future.
I'm afraid for the people.
Father Felier Louis from Haiti and has been living in South Florida for the past 9 years. However, in just a few days, his future in the U.S. will be in limbo.
We hope with the help of God, something will happen.
Father Louis from St. Mary's Star of the Sea in Key West is concerned not only for himself, but also for his Haitian brothers and sisters.
Coming back to Haiti now is very hard.
On Tuesday at the Archdiocese of Miami, Archbishop Thomas Wenski was joined by Miami-Dade Mayor Danilo Levine Cava, Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, and other business leaders. They are urging President Donald Trump and his administration not to rescind temporary protected status for Haitians. It is set to expire on February 3rd.
A group of law-abiding, legal people working in our communities will suddenly lose their work permits and their ability to stay in this country legally.
Listen, first of all, we got to recognize that these individuals have got to realize that they were supposed to stay over here temporarily, right? And you got to think about something. Like, you came over here for the economic benefit of another country instead of being able to help out your own. Instead of you having the capacity to grab your money, hold on to your money, save your money so that you can take your money back home, use the American dollar for the benefit of having even that much more wealth in your own country. Here you are, you chose to stay, or you're choosing to stay and refusing to want to go back home. And you have individuals who want to keep you over here in terms of being a part of a workforce. This reminds me so much of slavery. And this is the reason why, right? It reminds me so much of slavery because when you had individuals who were set free with regards to slavery, remind you that every time they give these people a temporary status to be in this country, it always applies to work. It always applies to work. So if you didn't do what you needed to do in this country, if you were here 9 years, you didn't do what you needed to do in this country to save up and go back home, whose fault is that? And you want to stay in this country, like if you were on, and when this country, you're primarily here for the economic benefit of this country. You're not here for the benefit of yourself. That's what you first have got to realize. If you don't realize this, if you didn't do what you needed to do to save up so when you go back home, you could be a lot more well off. We gave you everything that you could to be in this country in terms of social welfare, housing, and all this other stuff. If you didn't take the opportunity to thinking that your mind that it was going to be temporary or even go through the process to become a citizen, then that just meant that you just wanted to keep yourself bonded into a condition of slavery within itself, because when you had individuals that wanted to be, that were free in the slave times, they refused to want to go and set a journey for themselves, and they wanted to stay under the, I want to say, control of the people who own them. They wanted to stay in control to the people that own them instead of being able to take full advantage of the freedoms that they had. America is trying to set you free. You know, you might like the country, but if you don't realize that America is trying to set you free from the bondage that they had you in, when always you were supposed to be here for the benefit of the American people, and this is why you always get a work authorization is because you're supposed to be filling a gap in some type of workforce that is needed in the country. Then I don't see what the big issue is. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't have that in your mind, if the American people don't have that in their mind, if you allow these people to stay over here permanently, what you have them doing, that you have them replacing the United States citizen in the workforce within itself when they were supposed to come over here, complete a job. Even if it was for humanitarian reasons, that's one thing to where, okay, the conditions were bad at that time. We're going to have you over here for a little while. However, you're always going to be expected to go back. But if you want to stay in this country, why didn't you go through a status or a process for you to live permanently over here?
As mayor, I stand firmly alongside our Haitian community, and I ask, no, I beg this administration to extend TPS for Haitians.
Ola Joseph is from Cap Haitian and has been living in the
Look, how long is this extension is supposed to last? You had this the preacher that was here in the beginning of this video here for 9 years. How long is this? That's well and enough. That's well and enough time for you to establish a situation for yourself in this country to take whatever wealth that you gain in this country, take it back home and live lavishly.
U.S. for more than 20 years. She still has family in Haiti and says the situation there is unlivable.
Now I can go because I'm scared. Because too much gang member kill people.
Father Louis is praying that the Trump administration will hear their calls for help.
I hope that TPS is renewed for all the people, not only the Haitian people.
And this could affect 350,000 Haitian nationals living here in the U.S. As we know, here in South Florida, we do have a very large Haitian population. So come February 3rd, their temporary protective status will be null and void. And if they do decide to stay, or if they don't self-deport, they'll be staying. Their status will be undocumented. We're live in Miami Shores. Maribel Rodriguez, CBS News, Miami.
We have got to get this immigration, the whole idea with regards to immigration in the terms of our minds under control, because this is where the battle comes in, to where we're facing so many protests out here with regards to ICE doing its job, right? If we don't get the understanding of what the idea of allowing immigrants to come over here to this country, like I said, the whole aspect, when you look at the, you know, idea of circular migration. Circular migration means that you go back. You're not supposed to stay over here and assimilate into the country so much that you're supposed to be over here to make where you come from that much better. But apparently that is not working. That's why I say that Donald Trump is doing a particularly good job when it comes to places like Venezuela, trying to get our neighbors in the Western Hemisphere, their economic status or their economic, well-being up. Because we, as Americans, we cannot simply just be continuously to take people into our system, be paying for them for social services, have it increasing our taxes, have governments going through a budget shortfall for the benefit of the populace, to use these individuals in the workforce to take jobs permanently that should be going to United States citizens. That's not what they're over here for. And the Biden administration did that exact thing when it comes to the immigration parole system, how they circumvented the southern border and allow these people to gain status, receive access to work visas quickly after COVID-19 so that they can help regenerate the economy and the employers can have employees to come work in industries like tourism, restaurant industry, things of that nature. We have got to come into the understanding that these people were not meant to be here permanently, that they were meant to be here temporarily, and there's no need to go out here and protest if these individuals, while they're in this country for 9 years, for 20 years, 14 years, did not go through a process into which they tried to gain citizenship. Because there is a process. There are people that I know who became police officers or went to the military to gain citizenship. Do you allow these individuals who were meant to be over here temporarily not go through any process to gain citizenship and stay in this country, take your jobs, you know what I'm saying, live off all the, and when they can have the possibility of going back home and living that much better, that's with all the assets that they gain, right? They come over here, they was coming over here getting first time home, they could sell their house. You know, they can take the money and that they have in the bank. And then that not only that, the thing about this is a relationship could be built to where in times and where America needs work again, they can be brought back over, take the opportunity to be brought back over again because they already have a record of being brought over to the country for work in the past. Now here they are able to once again, because they gained that relationship with the United States, is saying that we're going to be over here temporarily for the benefit of our economic well-being, take that money back home to our countries, do something with it, make our lives better back in our own country. But at the same time, we're just going to go over here to America to do so for the time being until this work is complete. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. If I can take the money that I make in America, right? If I was a citizen from Mexico, if I can take the money that I'm making in America, where I'm making above $20 an hour or so, right, to a country to where I make $11, $12 a month, man, I'm gonna go back out there and I'm gonna live lavishly and wait for the call to come back for me to go back into America to, you know what I'm saying, to create more wealth, take it back home, and I can sustain a family back in my own country for the benefit of my people when I'm not fully trying to assimilate in this country. I'm not trying to be involved in the culture. I'm trying to bring my culture from this other nation over here into this country and force this country into the ideals of the nation of which I come from. Which one should it be? You know what I'm saying? If you won't like this country so much, then why didn't you fully assimilate into this country in terms of going through some type of citizenship process and you stayed on a temporary protection status all this time, 9 years, 10 years, 20 years, and then refused to go back when the whole idea with regards to this country and the status that got you over here in the first place is called temporary. Tiny Cross-H.U.G on the Trumped Up Live Show. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments. And it's a good day to be a soldier.